Jaylen Waddle was drafted 6th overall in the 2021 NFL Draft by the Miami Dolphins. Standing approximately 5'10", 180 pounds, Waddle brings what many analysts describe as game-changing speed to the position. But at times I think we reduce him down to this single trait and we forget how skillful he is at the wide receiver position. So I wanted to go ahead and take a look at how Jaylen Waddle's skill has developed over the years and illustrate some areas where he has shown tremendous improvement. So let's go ahead and dig right in. Here we are. We're looking at the SEC championship game from his freshman year. So this is week 13. This is Alabama versus Georgia. And we're looking at a situation where we're towards the end of the game. It's 1st and 10. It's about 1:15 left in the fourth quarter. It's a tight game. And here Alabama's driving. And I want to take a look at just how Jaylen Waddle handles this kind of intermediate out route. Let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so there's no denying it was an incredible catch, but I want to go ahead and take a look at the timeline of this route. Notice as he gets to the top of his route, what he does a nice job doing is challenging the leverage of the defender, and in doing so, he's going to force the defender to a decision. But right here, he puts out his arm because as of right now, as a problem solver, he's a little bit misunderstood about the interpersonal distance between him and the defender. He's not quite sure how far that defender is from him, nor does he particularly understand whether or not he's potentially going to be able to be collisioned. So when we look at this type of route through a player problem solver lens, we would say, yeah, sure, he solved the problem accurately and adequately. But the one issue that we have is in terms of the execution of the route itself, right? If we look at the idea of rational and economic movement, it really wasn't necessary here for him to extend his arm in order to potentially parry any type of collision. The defender wasn't really even close to him. And this is an area where from his freshman year to his sophomore year, he shows tremendous growth. And this is an area that'll help him tremendously in the NFL. Let's go ahead and take a look at another exposure. All right, so here we are. This is Jaylen Waddle's sophomore season, so this is year 2 at Alabama. This is Alabama-Auburn. As you can see by the score, 31-37. It's a tight game. It's the third quarter. It's week 12, so it's later in the season, and you can see that Alabama is currently in a gun right 2x2 set with the tight end on the right-hand side of the formation. Auburn is in a man-to-man coverage scheme, and I want you to notice how Waddle's development has occurred in terms of perceiving and acting with regards to his interpersonal distance between him and the defender and the collisions that might ensue. So I'm going to let the play run, and then we'll have a quick discussion. Obviously, a fantastic play by Jaylen Waddle for the touchdown. What I want you to notice is immediately at the line of scrimmage, look at his initial trajectory, right? So he recognizes the interpersonal distance between him and the defender, and he recognizes the leverage of the defender relative to where the catch is going to be made. So from a problem-solving standpoint, when we look at the functional fit of this solution, or in other words, we look at the compatibility of the solution, we could see automatically that he's more accurately responding to the different types of information that's available for him to exploit, available for him to use to his advantage, which is, again, this distance. He can use this distance to his advantage by taking a sharper inside angle or track towards the middle of the field to, again, be deceptive and destabilize this particular defender's coverage of him. And as he does this, he immediately snaps forward. Look how he gets the hips. He got the hips of the defender turned, and this is where the defender is going to lose. Because his hips are turned, Waddle has that accelerative capability, that speed that we talked about that everybody loves. It's really this accelerative capability, the strength in his lower body to go ahead and get vertical very quickly. And notice, this is where I want you to see the difference from freshman year to sophomore year. Look at his timing in terms of managing the collision. He does not begin to even address the collision until he's within a yard of the defender. Whereas if we think about the previous exposure, he was already perceiving that the defender could potentially collide him much further out. So I think that his sensitivity to this type of interpersonal distance has really matured. And notice here, he takes it a step further. If you notice, he actually leans into the defender ever so much, right? Getting into the defender a little bit so as to create better separation as he comes out of his route towards the sideline. So he does two things here that I think really show that maturity we're talking about from freshman to sophomore year. He takes an initial track more towards the inside to really challenge the lever of the defender early on. This shows a better understanding of the distance and the opportunities, or we say affordances for action, between him and the situation that's available. By getting the hips of the defender turned earlier, he can now really utilize that accelerative capability to attack the defender downfield. He even utilizes the collision. So instead of just timing the collision better, the parry or the redirection, he actually uses the collision of it to his advantage to kind of slow the defender's pursuit down so he can utilize his acceleration better out of the separation, given again the tighter window and circumstances of the play, to really create that separation and make the catch for a great touchdown. All right, so here we are. This is his sophomore year as well. This is week 10 versus Mississippi State. And you can see that Alabama is currently in a gun left 2-by-2 formation. And here's Jaylen Waddle again. He's the number 2 receiver to the field side of the formation. And what I want you to notice again, now this is a different route. This is going to be a double move. This is going to be an out and up. But again, we see that maturity and understanding of how to perceive collisions to better understand interpersonal distances. But again, he exploits it. He uses it to create separation. That's a really impressive development in his overall problem-solving skill process that really speaks to his dedication to the game and also to what he might bring to the next level. So let's take a look at this play. Again, another outstanding route by Jaylen Waddle. Let's take a look here as he attacks this defender vertically downfield. Again, as he comes off the line, we notice that he again is attacking leverage, and he's doing so decisively. And then notice right here, he begins to break down and start to get outside. Now look at how well-timed this redirection of this collision is by Waddle. He does a great job timing it perfectly. He doesn't start his redirection too early. It's economical. It allows for better rationality of overall movement. It allows him to get the defender turned, and he's able to create that separation. And notice how he's using this collision to his advantage, right? He keeps the distance between him and the defender tight as he stacks the defender and then begins to work outside. Notice how he utilizes his hips, his shoulders, and his visual gaze to get the defender to react. You can see right here, the defender is looking right up into the air along with Waddle because he perceives, based on Waddle's movement, that this is where the catch is going to occur. But that's just how much he's grown sensitivity-wise to the overall landscape of opportunities that space creates. He has the time and the space to make these types of deceptive actions to lure the defender into an unstable pursuit position. And doing so really puts the defender at a disadvantage. Look, here we are right here. The defender is tracking the football, and Waddle's already got his hips turned and he's attacking downfield. This is incredibly skillful. It just shows a constant awareness of all the different types of opportunities that the play presents as it changes and unfolds. This isn't something that's practiced. It's something that has to be solved moment by moment as the play unfolds. Waddle is literally showing his dynamicism and adaptability on this play.